Hey guys, welcome back to another Merly on Time watch reviews. I'm Chris and I unbox and review budget watches. And today I'm looking at two watches. I want to try and do a bit of a comparison video. I'm not too good at these comparison videos. I've only done a few of them, but I want to look at a Pagani Design versus a San Martin. And I'm not going to be answering the question, what watch is better? I think it's obvious the San Martin makes better watches. But what I do want to propose is that perhaps value for dollar spent Pagani Design would be the way to go. The watches that I'm going to look at are both homaging the Heritage Chronograph by Tudor, a Heritage Chronograph Black Bay. And these watches vary in price. The Pagani Design watch you can get for around $100, give or take a few dollars. The San Martin is, at the time of filming, around $400, maybe $425 Canadian. I'll put the exact amounts in the description below. But we're talking about a $300 difference. Is that $300 difference worth picking up a San Martin? Or would that $300 be better spent on a Seiko or something else? That's the question that I'm going to answer and attempt to answer anyway in this video. So thanks for tuning in. Let's do it.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time!
Okay, so you can see I've got my notes here, guys, in this versus battle. And you know what? I'm not going to try and do a point system. I just want to present as much information as I can to you so that you can decide for yourself whether it is worth spending considerably more money for the San Martin than it is for the Pagani Design. Now, before we dive into that, check out the Citizen ProMaster. And I am wearing it on a brand new engineer style bracelet. Wonderful bracelet, less than 30 Canadian dollars. And my pal Watching James did a video on this one. I will leave a link to that video in the description. Milled clasp, really nicely finished, nice smooth edges, and screw pins in this bracelet. Absolutely fantastic. So we're here to talk about these two watches. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. This is the Pagani Design. I'll leave the PD number as a subtitle because I forgot to write that down, the model number. This is in the Panda version, and then the San Martin is in the reverse Panda version. This watch I am putting in the mail tomorrow. I'm filming this somewhat late on Friday night. This is going in the mail tomorrow to John Vinham out in Western Canada, who won this for my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. Okay, so let's first of all talk about the movement. Now, it depends on what you like. Both of these watches have excellent movements in them. The San Martin has the Seagull ST1901, I believe it is, mechanical hand wind, and the Pagani Design is sporting the Seiko VK63 movement. And so this one is grab and go, and this one you have to wind every day. And so if you're the type of person that likes to have some interaction with your watch, I'll just get it winding. I'll get it wound here. If you like to have interaction with your watch every day, this is kind of the watch for you. But both are really excellent movements. And so do you want a mechanical movement? Well, they both technically have mechanical movements. This is a Mecaquartz. This is a mechanical hand wind. So both excellent movements. I really can't knock them for that. Would you rather have a grab and go, or would you rather have something that you interact with on a regular basis? I want to talk about dimensions and wearability next. I give this one to the Pagani Design as far as being better. This Pagani Design is 39 by 20, and the San Martin is 41 by 20. And there is a noticeable difference, as you can see. The San Martin actually looks a little bit larger than 41. And I found that the San Martin, unless you wear it snug to your wrist, was a little bit top heavy, and I found the watch kind of dragging to the top of my wrist there, whereas the Pagani Design I think would fit and be suitable for smaller wrists. I have 7.5, but this would go good for those that have 6.5-inch wrist to 7-inch wrist, a little bit smaller. This fits sleeker, definitely fits, I think, more comfortably than this one. Now I can get away with this one because I have a large wrist, but I think you can see the San Martin looks considerably bigger. It is also a little bit chunkier and thicker, which helps for that top heaviness that I mentioned. The bracelets on these watch, the San Martin is far better. It has a fantastic, 3-link oyster bracelet on it. You have a really nice milled clasp as well. The Pagani Design bracelet is just this particular style of bracelet I've seen on a couple of different watches. This one here and the Tudor Heritage, or the Tudor Black Bay / Milgauss Homage that I have. And honestly, it's a bit of a dumpster fire, guys. The milled clasp is fine, no issue with that. But it has these very small end or side links on both sides. So it's a 5-link system. You've got that one, then the outer link, the inner link, outer link again, in this tiny sliver of, I think you can see it there. And the problem is when you tighten the watch, it tends to make because of those end pieces there on the sides, tends to make the bracelet quite stiff. You can see that there. And as a result of it being a little stiff, after wearing it for a little bit, you'll find that the screw pins in the bracelet both have screw pins. The screw pins in this one, they loosen and you have to retighten them. I found that I saw it popping out, and I'm not a huge fan of this fake rivet system. And the main reason being that when you get to the side of the watch where the screws are, you're missing the rivets on each side, and it just doesn't, it's not very good symmetry wise. And so the bracelet far better on the San Martin. Let's talk design now. Both are homages, obviously, and don't get away with any originality or anything like that per se. But the San Martin, I think, missed a really big opportunity because they are rocking the Seagull ST 1900 movement. They have what would be a typical, Tudor or a Rolex style case back there, and it would have been so nice if they had have put, rather than a sterile case back, a display case back to show off that movement, because that movement is absolutely beautiful. And one of the flaws of the Pagani Design is there's no running seconds hand. You have the chronograph seconds hand there, but nothing is running on the watch. It's just kind of sterile to look at. And that 24-hour subdial, I absolutely hate the 24-hour subdial. On the San Martin, you'll see it has the 30-minute chronograph timer as well as a running seconds hand for the watch. That is much better than, having this 24-hour subdial. And it's got a 60-minute timer on the 9 o'clock, but nothing's moving on the watch. I like to see some action on my watch when I look down, and this is just fairly sterile. Now, the Pagani Design, in my opinion, if you have a look, I think it has a better handset, the hour and minute hand. I think the San Martin, they're just a little bit skinny and skimpy. And with the larger dial, or rather the larger case size and dial that it has, I think the handset that the Pagani Design used would have been better on the San Martin for sure. So they get points for that. I think their handset is much better than the Pagani Design. So just checking over my notes here to see if I missed anything in regards to the design. No, I don't think so. That's good enough. I'm flipping my page over. Functionality, let's just talk about some of that. The crown. Both are perfectly acceptable and user-friendly. The Pagani Design has a branded crown. It's a nice size. It's got some nice knurling on it, and it is a screw-down crown. And the action on the threads of this one is actually pretty decent. Sometimes you can get a gritty crown with Pagani Design, but this one is good. It's screwed down. This one is just a push-pull crown. Now, the one thing that makes the San Martin much better are the pushers. Both of these watches have screwed down pushers to aid in the water resistance. Both of these, I believe, have 100 meters of water resistance. Now, I did find, though, that the pushers on this were a little less tactile as far as the push of them to get the chronograph started. There is a click there, but the VK63 movement just has a really nice tactile push to it. But with the Pagani Design, when you screw these pushers in, especially this bottom one here, it actually gets stuck to the case. And you just can't screw it out. You got to apply a little bit of pressure toward the crown to get it unwound. And so not the most user-friendly. It's not impossible, but there's no issue whatsoever with the pushers on the San Martin. Both of them have quick resets for the chronograph, which is also really nice. And the San Martin chronograph, the interesting thing about this one is once you get it started, this will not stop running. Once it reaches the 30 minutes, it will just continue to go another 30-minute cycle. It will not stop until you stop it and reset it. Whereas the Pagani Design, once it reaches 60 minutes, it will actually stop and reset itself and not go any further. The big thing about these watches, and we're 10 minutes in, guys, and I'm wrapping this up real quick, is the finishing. The San Martin has better finishing overall, which the camera may or may not pick up, but I'll give you the side profile. And the finishing on the San Martin is definitely a lot nicer. Well, you know what? I'm going to change my mind on that. It's nicer. I wouldn't say it's a lot nicer. The chamfered edge on the San Martin, by the naked eye, you might not be able to see it in the camera here, but it is definitely, the polishing is done better. You can see the polish around the bezel underneath, and then there's some nice brushing on the tops of the bracelet as well. And I'm not sure if you can see, it's a little more satiny and smooth on the San Martin than it is on the Pagani Design. But what I am, wanting to highlight is, the San Martin, in my opinion, isn't miles better in finishing than the Pagani Design. The Pagani Designs are definitely getting better with their finishing. And, I wouldn't say that the San Martin is, far, far better. It is better, don't get me wrong. The finishing on this is better, but I wouldn't say it's miles ahead of the Pagani Design. And so value for dollar spent, this is really where I am coming from. And as I wrap up this video, I want to say that I think the value for dollar spent goes to the Pagani Design. You can pick this one up for around $100. The San Martin, this one here is over $400. So we're talking about a $300 difference. And honestly, guys, this is where I'm at with regards to San Martin. I wasn't wearing this much, so I'm giving it away. I do have a beautiful San Martin watch, and it's the only one that I'm going to keep, and it's the only San Martin that I am going to get. I think everyone could have a San Martin in their collection. They do make really nice watches, But when you're getting upwards of $300, $400 plus for the watch, and I'm talking Canadian funds here, you know, I can get a Seiko 5 cheaper than I could get this San Martin. I could get quite a few Seikos, not in quantity, but I mean, just quite a few different models of Seiko that I could get, or some really nice Timexes, or Long Island watch. Their watches are fantastic. I would certainly spend $400 on a Long Island watch before I spend it on another San Martin. Guys, that is just where I'm at. You know what? If you've been watching, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Value for dollar spent, in my opinion, the Pagani Design wins it, and I'm keeping this one. I'm going to be giving this one away. And the last category, I guess, loom. I'm not going to bother with a loom shot, guys. Pagani Design is getting better on the loom, but oddly enough, their hour and minute hand lose loom before the indices. The San Martin definitely has superior loom. But in all honesty, guys, between these two watches, I just don't see the $300 more. You know, I just don't see it. You know, I think a better price for this watch would have been $250, not $400. Then that would be something I could, you know, go with. But if I had the choice between the two watches, I get two of these, one in each colorway, before I buy one of those. That's just me, guys, and that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll see you in the next video.